Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys checking in. Make sure that you do say hello so that we can acknowledge you in your presence. Thank you so much for checking in on this new year, 2026, y'all. 2026. Ooh, what a year is going to be. What a year is going to be. Thank you guys for all that you've done throughout the year, 2025. I really appreciate it, and welcome to 2026. Hope to do bigger and better things, hoping to grow the channel, get the message out there, all that jazz. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you say hello so that we can acknowledge you. Thank you so much for checking in. I do appreciate it. And make sure you hit the like button. That is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in, and make sure you say hello so we can acknowledge you. Welcome to the new year, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you so much, Yoli. Blessings to you as well. Blessing to you and yours in this new year. Welcome to you and yours in the new year. Hello. Wanda S5T, I guess maybe that's St. 5 or so. Arkansas. Thank you so much for checking in from Arkansas. Yes, yes. Happy New Year to you and to your family. Happy New Year to you as well, Kenneth Young. Appreciate you checking in. I do appreciate you checking in. Happy New Year. Greetings from Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver, Canada. I've had a couple of other Canadians, but thank you so much for checking in. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys here. Make sure you say hello and make sure you hit the like button on your way in. And I hope to do more memberships. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share, join the memberships if you're not already a part of that as well. All right. So this is going to be an interesting show. Somebody on the last live that we did was talking or spoke about, said something about Anton Daniels coming out to the Passport Bros, and I was not familiar with what was going on. And in all honesty, I forgot about it. But then as I was surfing around, I had a long trip to make. The other day, so I was driving, and then it popped up as I was listening to various YouTube platforms. So I said, okay, this is what's going on here. I said, okay, we'll check it out. And see what's going on. So I get really thirsty when I do these lives. All right. So yes, please hit the thumbs up. So I was unfamiliar with what was going on in Anton Daniels, and listen, he to me is such a shock jock. He comes across my feed every once in a while. He's so shocking. Claims to be a Christian, and I don't know what form of Christianity he alludes to or purports to adhere to, but certainly wasn't one of the churches that I grew up in or the denomination that I grew up in. But everybody's relationship with God is different. So who am I to judge? I am no one to judge. But it seems a little awkward to me, a little different to me. So make sure you hit the like button on your way in. So what I wanted to do first, I usually play some warm-up videos, but I think this is going to be fairly long if I do all the warm-ups. What I wanted to do first was start off with what Anton Daniels was speaking about at least 2 years ago, and we'll get to that, and we'll listen to what he was saying about 2 years ago. Yeah, he's a grifter. I mean, so he certainly is going where the money is. I seen him on Fox News, trying to get his name out there, and I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't clean up his image. He doubles down on the swearing and all that. And sometimes, unfortunately, this is something I talk about on my other channel. Is it goes, power and money start to go to people's heads. You start making some money, you get a hefty following, and he's already, I guess, successful. I don't know what else he does as far as his other businesses. I don't follow him that much, but I know his YouTube is growing. If you make you can make some serious coin, as we all know. Uh, Come on, guys. There's 25 guys as I'm watching this watching. 4 likes. Come on now. Come on. You came over here. You're sticking around. You want other people to come in here. If you just want to hear what I have to say, at least hit the like button. Come on. It's I don't beg people for cash apps, and I was actually having a conversation with somebody about this the other day about asking more for cash apps in 2025 and whatever. But listen, it's true I have other jobs and I make other coin, but listen, if you're gonna be here, at least at minimum, hit the cash app. At least hit the cash app. And as soon as we say that, people start dropping out. Well, excuse me, not the cash app. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. The least you can do is hit the like button, right? You just want to see what I'm going to say about Anton Daniels? Is that what you just came here for? Come on, hit the like button. Hit the like button. So I completely lost my train of thought there about that. Anyway, so whether he's a grifter or not, we'll get into it. But I don't know why he doesn't clean up his inventory. He can be, if he was on Fox News, you can expand your reach if you clean up your image just a little bit and just lay off the swears and then come with some more facts, data, and statistics and all that. And I'm sure, we can even get into what um I'm so distracted by this cash app thing. I really am. Excuse me, this whole like button thing. Please hit the like button. We can get into whether he's grifting and why he's doing it, etc. We can explore that in a little bit. So let's get into the videos here. Yeah, I really appreciate you, Yoli. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Listen, just at least hit the like button. Hit the like button. Come on now. All right. So this is a show he did. I guess he's calling his show. He being Anton is pulling this up now here. Is calling his show the Millionaire Morning Show with Anton Daniels. It's got a hefty subscription base. There are 422,000 people. And a couple of years ago, he had an individual on, and they were speaking about the Passport Bros. And he was actually talking to one, and we're going to see here he's smiling and just having a good jovial time here. So why he changed up in his recent years, we'll start to explore here. So uh, and this one is called Passport Bros. The Passport Bros aren't just about getting box. At Passport Bros joined um, Anton Daniels to give us the truth, and this was dropped 2 years ago. I want to say 2 years ago. Yeah, 19,000 views 2 years ago from Detroit. If you can see that there. So this is a 2-year-old video. The likes are climbing. Thank you for the supporting. Yeah, appreciate that. Hit the like button. Come on now. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Yoli, for doing what you're doing. I don't like his podcast at all. All right, so I don't really watch his podcast. I see clips here and there. He's a shock jock. He's trying. I don't know if he's trying. He's just, let's just call him a shock jock. So what he's trying to do and why he's trying to do it. I don't know why he's doing any of that. So, all right. Let's see here. So anyway, let's play a little bit of this. So he's invited this guy up here, and we'll listen to what he has to say. At Passport.
Further ado, and his channel, the link to his channel is linked in the description of the show. I want to bring up somebody up here. Black Man Travels, Passport Bro, Aaron. I want to bring somebody up here that can probably better have a conversation to give us real insight, because it's one thing to listen to Cynthia G, right? And it's another thing to see all of the wild, crazy stories that's happening across the internet that highlight the bad of what happens, or these dudes are dust
I got his sound as far as up as I can, so I hope you guys can hear it. It's low on my end. That's why I'm saying this.
and all of this other type of stuff. I want to get some insight from somebody that may be able to give me a better view into what it really means to be a passport bro. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
I'm chilling, man. Listen, bro, I'm happy to have you. Hopefully, you can give me a lot more insight than whatever it is being highlighted on TikTok and Instagram, and more importantly,
Right.
YouTube. I'm definitely gonna be reading super chats throughout the show. Shout out to dog Logic is in the building. Where you currently located at, my friend?
I'm in Thailand right now.
You in
I live
Thailand?
in Thailand. Yes, sir. I've been living here for close to a year now. It'll be a year, and maybe next week it'll be a year.
Wow. Okay. So, what made you head over to Thailand in the first place?
Well, I've been living overseas for 3 years now. I left America in 2019, and I moved to Colombia for about a year. Then after that, I moved to Brazil for almost close to a year. And then from Brazil, I came straight here to Thailand. I'll be about a year. So, I like to travel. I've been to about 9 countries so far. But Thailand is a very easygoing and very safe place and cost-efficient place as well. We're forming like a expat community out here. There's a lot of brothers out here. Shout out to Zoom to Thailand and
Yeah,
other
Thailand.
YouTube
Yeah.
business out here. So yeah, man, just loving living overseas, bro. Just love living overseas, and I appreciate you having me on because I initially, started this, passport. But I don't like to say movement, but I would just say a community of guys who like to travel and have similar interests and a similar ideology towards life in general. I never anticipated it taking this turn into what I like to call the gender war or whatnot, because it was always about being an expat, leveraging your American dollar and taking advantage of opportunities that we have coming from America. That's what the
All right, so that was important right there. So that was important what he said. First of all, what he said was leveraging the American dollar, opening yourself up to different experiences as an American. So that's what it was about. That was what it was about. Let me see here. I want to reading history, your list, home, profile, stories. So when people try to go off on a passport bros, they got to understand what it is that they're talking about and not just throw everyone in there. And this is what Anton Daniels, I think, is doing done very recently in a matter of speaking. Okay, I'm looking for. I wrote a blog about this and I can't seem to find it here. Let's see, stories. I'll play a little bit more of this while I look for my blog here.
Thought process was to the passport bros.
Do you think that the passport bros are going through growing pains right now? Because you guys are becoming very, very popular, right? Somewhat, I would even compare it similarly to the manosphere, right? Which I don't consider myself a part of the manosphere, but I can't control how people group you. They're gonna group you however they group you, right? But do you think that you guys are experiencing growing pains?
Both of these.
Why do you think that you are?
Both of these entities that he's talked about, Passport Bros, Manosphere, have been given such a negative connotation that a lot of times people don't want to be associated with them. And that's why, a few years ago, maybe like 2 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago now, I think it was in summer of 2024, well, almost a year and a half or so. I did a show. It was on my other channel that I don't post on anymore, talking about how we need to professionalize this space because people who are smart, educated, who are doing good for themselves, refusing to acknowledge or be a part of this. I don't even know what you want to call them, society, etc. So this is why I wanted to do something that we talked about, the positive people who are in it, because if you got smart brothers who want to do something with their life and who are doing something with their life, and have retired, are able to work outside of the country because they can work remotely, etc., why should they be stuck in one particular place? And so that's just number one. And number two is if they truly want to be go overseas and get a wife or get married, then what would be the problem or the issue with that? And that's what we want to kind of address. All the countries passport bros goes to get women. Stop the black on black hate. Yeah, we definitely got to do that. Red flag Thailand, SMH. Yeah. All right, let's continue to listen to this. And why would a certain particular place be a red flag?
Are experiencing growing pains if you do.
Well, anytime you introduce something new to society to a certain degree, I remember when I first initially got my website, blackmantravels.com, and I was speaking to the lady on GoDaddy, and she was like, they do? And I'm like, yeah, traveling now, traveling to different countries around the world.
You talking about black men specifically?
Yeah, black men, yeah, exactly.
So people automatically just like, oh, black men really travel like that? Like,
yeah, exactly. And that was when I got purchased my domain, like 2016 or something, or 2017 rather.
Yep.
And so I think it just being introduced to the American psyche, especially the black community, where they just wasn't used to black men being able to have options. Now the passport, bro, is inclusive of all ethnicities. I had black men travels, and we grew that for some time. Then,
so that's another important point, is that it's all ethnicities, But how come it seems to be such a problem when black men are doing it? Or maybe we're just noticing more because we are black.
And I found the passport bros when I was in Brazil a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
how do you pick which countries that you want to go to? How do you pick which countries is the best for you?
Right now, like I said, I would like to, or will be traveling to many other countries. But initially, I just want to give a shout out to the Black Man's Option. That's another travel group that was founded, before mine. And I came up with a documentary called Frustrated, a documentary about, black men down in Brazil, living in Brazil, frustrated with some of the ills of the matrix, basically, where they've been dating or lack of maybe opportunities.
He made a statement there. He made a statement. They're calling it the matrix. And I want to explain what people say when they say the matrix. The matrix means that they are living in what they consider to be a female-dominated space. This is my definition. Feel free to correct me if you think that I've said anything in error. Female-dominated space where the laws, as pertaining to Western laws, not just the United States, but all Western laws, are heavily favor women. And that creates a sort of mating dilemma. It creates a mindset that the women are somehow superior and can act differently and are not held in line and in check. And I have been reading up a little bit about and watching a number of videos about why some ladies are not, you can't hold them accountable. I may actually do a video about that because I was watching one that was really good the other day. Another doctor I played for, Psychax, has addressed this as well. How come we can't seem to we as a society can't seem to hold ladies here accountable? They refuse to apologize. They refuse to say they were wrong. They refuse to acknowledge any type of wrongdoing on their end. This is something that is perceived. What is real or not, we can have that discussion. But this is what a lot of men are running into, and they call it the matrix. When the laws of the land enforce and reinforce negative and bad behaviors in the women, and they seem to be bailed out of the poor decisions that they make. And therefore, if you bail them out of the poor decisions that they make, i.e., having numerous boyfriends, numerous babies out of wedlock, and therefore the state holds men accountable. Another way that the state holds men accountable is, 1 in 3 men who have a child, even when you find out that child is not yours, they still make you pay for it through child support. So all of this creates this frustration for the American or even Western men. So they say they don't want to deal with that type of relationship where they feel as if they are in the passenger seat in the relationship they are in. So they call that, quote unquote, the matrix. So they determine to get out of the matrix. And another defining factor of the matrix is the coarse, negative, rude behavior that many American women seem to go by, seem to live their life by. The rudeness, the crassness, the ghetto-ness, the ghetto behavior, in particular the Black community, all that type of thing. And consequently, as has been discussed already, this is not just a black male problem. This is a white male problem as well. I watched a number of videos about this white man complaining about that. And remember, Sycax, Orion Taraban, is a white man, and he's talked about it. So this is a problem that is going on in the community. And so this is what people are saying. This is the matrix. So that's, I wanted to kind of give context to anyone who doesn't understand what we mean when we say the matrix.
Economically, and I thought about some of the things that they were saying. I said, man, I gotta really check this out. So I booked a trip, went down to Brazil, just changed my life.
How?
So this brother just said he went to Brazil, and this goes up to your point right here. I think it's easy to get women in any third world country, but the passport bros are probably choosing those countries because they prefer non-black partners. Well, this brother is about to elaborate and say that Brazil, besides outside of Africa, Brazil has the greatest number of black people, African people, dark skin, larger nose, melanated people. The highest majority and concentration of them do not live in Britain, do not live in Canada, do not live in the United States. The highest concentration of them that don't live on the continent of Africa live in Brazil. So they're going there looking for black women. And some of the passport bros actually do travel to Africa. So that would debunk that.
How did it change your life? What did it do to change your life? Why would you say it changed your life?
Well, I did not know that Brazil had more black people in Brazil than they did America, right? So really? I didn't. Yes, it's a huge Afro population in Brazil, and they was able to hold on to more of their customs, right? Like they still really wear their natural hair and mask out there, and there's something about retaining some of that cultural values that we initially had. So when I got to Brazil, even though I spoke Portuguese, I just was amazed by the culture and the people and just the energy of Brazil. It was like something I never had seen before. The music and the food and just the energy and just seeing all these Afro people, the women with their natural hair and everybody's in shape and they got the beach, and it just was enlightening to me. It just really changed my life. And I felt like, I was like, man, I love America, but it's like we kind of like missing something a little bit. And I feel like when I left, when I was on that plane coming back, I was like, I got to figure out a way to eventually move here and live overseas.
So, okay. How do you then generate enough revenue? Because you moved at a time where, we in the modern world, which means that, a lot of ways, and I don't know exactly how you generate your revenue or anything like that.
I don't want to play that. I mean, it's certainly interesting. But I want to fast forward here because a lot of guys are retired. I don't think that's worth listening to. There's so much more work that people can do. You can work online. A lot of people are retired. They work for 6 months. Maybe they don't have girlfriends here in the United States. Work for 6 months, really hustling, working, doubles back to back for 6 months, 8 months, and then they'll take that money over there. Just they live really meekly here. I think I've summed up what you can do if you're a young guy, and older guys who have pensions, 401ks, etc., will just go over there, retired military people and all that. I want to fast forward here to our passport bros broke, and this will kind of finish up with that.
The reason why I asked that is the perception of a lot of guys, and the passport bros is broke dudes that then can't substantiate themselves financially in the views of a woman here, and so they got to go over there and be able to talk to women that will tolerate, a lot of what it is that they're willing to do, or that the women is finessed into thinking that a lot of the guys is rich because they come from America. What would you say to that in that thing? Because you're saying that a lot of these guys is IT guys. Like, these are not the broke dudes. These are professionals. These are guys that may look like you or me. And then you said, of course, obviously, passport bros is more than just black people. But these are not the dusty dudes. These are actually guys that have a lot going for them. What would you say to that?
Right. So again, the question is, these are not dusty dudes. These guys have things going for them, and that's important. That's important. I know I wrote a piece for Medium. I thought I called it Passport Bros, but I can't seem to find it. Anyway, so these are not dusty dudes, and this is what I've harped on. This is why I've done the shows about this. These are not corny. Well, they may be corny. We'll get into that a little bit, but this guy seems to be able to present himself. He doesn't seem awkward. He's doing something that a lot of people cannot do, and that is speaking publicly on a camera. It's not an easy thing to do that. So this guy doesn't seem to have that social awkwardness that people claim or lay blame to passport bros. And so Winters here says, no one wants to deal with the truth. American black women aged 18 to 30 in mass are incompatible, I guess, with young men, are willing to travel overseas for alternative options. Shaming a few bad apples won't change this, right? So this is what's so important to me. is the shaming that is going on, towards these brothers. And Anton Daniels in the next video I'm going to play is going to begin to shame. Now here he's having an open-minded conversation with this brother on here. That's why I'm playing this first from something from 2 years ago. It's certainly a viable thing that people can change their minds and change their opinions. But yeah, so let's see. I just saw this live pop on my feed. Interesting topic. Yeah, well, appreciate you stepping over. October, what's up? They are going to with the most easiest way to get women in another country for cheap. Well, we'll talk about that. Again, what this brother has laid out is the tribal experience, the cultural experience. This is what he said. And if you watch other documentaries, and there are documentaries about this, the tribal experiences, the life, the life of leisure. Yes, the currency, your currency goes so much farther in these other countries. And yes, if you can pair up and mate with someone, and I make a distinction between this. I make a distinction between this and those who are going for sex tourism. Those who are going for sex tourism. Actually, let me take this down for a minute here. And this is a piece that I wrote on Medium. If anybody reads on Medium, if anybody reads anymore, let me take this down here and let me put this on the screen here. Share screen. So this is me, and I wrote this here. This is called "What's Wrong with." Is it on the screen here? Yeah. What's wrong with Western women? I'm just going to read a little bit of this, so we can get a better understanding about what's going on here. That's not what I wanted. This one? No, come on. All right, we'll go to this one here. Let me start out by making a clear distinction between passport bros and those engaging in sex tourism. The former are men from various Western countries seeking love and relationships. The latter are those seeking, well, it should be obvious. Making this distinction is essential because words, thoughts, ideas, and accuracy matter. I came across another Medium story by this lady, Katie Glenn, I don't know how to say her name, called "How the Passport Movement Reveals the Ugly Truth About Western Men." Refer to my definition above concerning what precisely is the passport bro. In her article, Jen claims that they are a breed of men from the U.S. and UK who roam countries in South America, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe in search of traditional women. Passport bros roam the countryside, but for what? So for giggles, I searched for a clearer definition. A Fox News article claims that they are men seeking love, family, and loyalty. And an article in NZ Herald, the New Zealand-based newspaper they claim to be New Zealand's best journalism, claims they are men who prefer to date foreign women in other countries. That article even mentions that they got their definition from the Urban Dictionary. So being quite the inquisitive scamp, I headed over to the Urban Dictionary to verify the claims by New Zealand's best journalism. Lo and behold, Urban Dictionary's definition states that passport bros are men who have chosen to seek out foreign women, typically from other countries, for relations. They believe Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressure to behave in a certain way, and by seeking foreign women, they can have a more authentic, fulfilling, and a harmonious relationship. So you can go over there and read the rest of that. So I'm including that in this idea of what this brother is talking about here is traveling for culture, to see the world, your dollar goes farther, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what that is. So greetings to everyone. But isn't it known that passport bros last year came back into the US with STDs? I remember seeing an article about that. There's always going to be some article or something, to my knowledge, shaming guys about doing whatever. And I mean, you can get STDs here in this country. So I don't understand that quite as much. There's, in fact, in our history here, you can go back and myself and Be Mindful did a whole show about STDs and all that. So, so you can go, yeah. I think black men put themselves in a position to be scrutinized by sharing these passport bro videos on YouTube or TikTok. They're sharing it for likes and to monetize. That I agree with. Winter, fall. They need to shut up. Not because you want to be secretive, But there's a few things that happen when you talk about this. Number one, you bring scrutiny. You bring this type of scrutiny, saying that people are. And I saw the comment about you're going over there for lady boys. You're going over there for just for sex tourism. You're going over there for all these nefarious reasons. And if you're going over there for good reasons, because you want to look for a place to retire, because the food is better, because you want to explore culture, because you really want a wife, if you talk that type of way, and you come back here and say, oh, look at all the girls I'm getting. I'm sitting at the club and all these girls are coming up to me, and I'm walking down the street and all these girls are just loving them. When you invite this type of negative type of things. And I talk to a number of people and just tell them, listen, you got to be quiet. Again, it's not about being secretive, but it's about understanding that you invite negative commentary towards your way. So be quiet about it. And they brought a lot of this negative attention to themselves. They brought a negative attention to themselves. What can you say? Is that false? I'm sure. I don't know. You talking about the STD thing? I don't know. I don't know. It may be. I don't know if that's true or not. And here's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not saying that people who go over there get an STD and don't bring it back here. I'm sure that people have STDs here, bring it over there. If you got an STD, you got an STD. So I don't understand what that is. You ought to be safe with the sex that you practice safe sex no matter where you go. So is there, and this is a false type of statistics to say the guys are going over there getting STDs and bringing them back over here. I mean, the guys over here bringing them over there. So what exactly are we saying? You can sleep around here in the United States and catch STDs. Again, Be Mindful and I talked about that. So is it true that they are going over there getting them? Probably. And is it true also that they are going over there sleeping with one woman and getting married and setting up families and looking for places to retire, et cetera, et cetera? All that can be true. So all that can be true. Yeah, but they're policing us. They're policing black men, and this is the thing. So what if they share their videos? Black females are all over Instagram sharing their locations overseas, and they should. Well, it's a difference. It's a different thing to say. Here's me mountain climbing. Here's me going to this location. Here's me in a museum. Here's me at this particular place. And versus sitting in the bar saying, "Look at how many women I got," and that I think is absolutely crassless. I don't care what you go for. Whether you want the men over there, you want the lady boys over there, whether you want to just do what you want to do. I particularly don't care. But I'm talking about living within scrutiny and doing things wisely. And if you're over there, right, then more Americans are going over there, or more Western people are going over there. Are you, could you be setting us up, all those who want to travel, male and female? Could you be setting them up to be robbed in other times? So this is because they know you have money, and because they know you're moving in certain locations and where you're going and where the tourists are going. That is something that all people have to be mindful of. That's something all people have to be mindful of, no matter what you're doing. One of the first things you got to do when you travel anywhere is be careful and be safe. I don't care if you go from one city to another. Be careful and be safe. And really, you should be posting pictures. This is old news. You should be posting pictures when you return from your vacation, so you can say, "Here's where I was, and here's what I was doing, male or female." Whatever you're doing, because people burglarize your house and stuff when you were gone, and that was going on a lot when I was in the PD. So because we got smart and told people about this type of thing and don't do this type of thing, people got smarter. So I'm just telling you to be smart about how you're moving. And when you're doing this type of thing and you're inviting negative critiques, and they want to critique men at every turn. And if you don't want to be critiqued, then do things smartly. Do things the right way. Go to another country and blend in, not be loud about it. Yeah, go there, blend in. Go amongst the locals. Don't wear a bunch of jewelry and rings and stuff. Just go there and enjoy the culture. Enjoy the culture. All right, let's play a little bit more of this here.
I met more guys with resources overseas than back in the States. A lot of guys definitely have their stuff together. I see guys make a ton of money. A lot of guys make six figures.
Yep.
Then of course you got military guys who might have a guaranteed income coming from the government, whether it be pensions, retirement, or disability, or whatnot. Then you got the entrepreneurs, that understand that, hey, if my dollar goes further here, that gives me more time to work on my business, right? If I'm paying less than 15% out of my monthly income for living expenses, that gives me more time and money. So a lot of guys overseas really have their stuff together. I've met millionaires. I have a friend of mine. He's worth like $10 million. I have friends in Colombia. They their net worth is up there as well. And a lot of men are just creative on how they find their finance. You got real estate guys. They have properties back in America, and they get money from those properties from real estate coming in every month. I even know truck drivers that might drive for 6 months out the year during their peak season. Then they go to Brazil for 3 to 4 months. So,
from what I've seen, and that's why he just mentioned, save up the truck driving trucks. I'll replay that in a second here. For what I've seen, most of these passport bros aren't even bilingual, F around, and as someone set you up right in your face while smiling, all because there is a language barrier. Yeah, well, listen, this is about being smart. No matter where you go, male or female, you should be smart about where you're going and understand the language, or at least be in a safe spot. And yes, you can get set up. Yes, you can. You don't know these people, and sometimes they are in desperate situations. So if you're going to go to some places, you got to watch your drinks. You got to watch where you're going. Who you're getting in cab with. Make sure you use Uber. Don't use these side hustle people. All that type of thing. You got to be smart about. And yes, you should know a little bit of the language. You should know a little bit of the language. If you know you're going to take a trip to Thailand or to Brazil or to Colombia in 2 months, you can brush up on some basic words. You can brush up on taxi, left, right. You can brush up on that type of thing. It's never been easier than before to do that type of thing. Appreciate that, Yoli. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Salute to you, Gregory Scotland. Anton has shown that he is a pro-black gynocrat. Only he is a Republican conservative version of Umar. He gave himself away when he brought up the term snow bunny and said, "Come back home." Yes, we're going to play that. We're going to play that. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, what is this brother talking about here? It might be classes, but that's their business. Yeah. Very few brothers are talking debauchery. Most brothers are sensible. In fact, all the prominent brothers are quite articulate. Yes, I agree with that. And that's what I'm saying. So I don't know where Anton's going to go in on these brothers. So play with that. Yes, he did give me a sandwich. I appreciate that. All right, here we go.
Back in America, and they getting money from those properties from real estate coming in every month. I even know truck drivers that might drive for 6 months out the year during their peak season. Then they'll go to Brazil for 3 to 4 months. So each guy has their own little way, because we always have those discussions like, hey man, how do what do you do to make a living to sustain yourself out here? And you find all types of different ways. A lot of crypto guys, a lot of guys that's in investing, stocks, forex. You just can be really creative now with the internet, especially if you have knowledge of how to move and where to live, and cost efficient ways to budget your money accordingly. And most of these countries that we do choose, they have special visas for digital nomads if you meet a monthly requirement. And 9 times out of 10, the monthly requirement might only be $800. So if you can show that you're making $800, and you can show that you're not taking away a job from a local, you're making your money, whether it be back in the States or online.
Yep. And this is very key, because when you are looking to, if you're a brother, let's just say that maybe you have worked your whole life, even if you don't have that much of a savings, and you're in your 60s, 62, you can start collecting your pension. Let's just say your pension is now $2,000 a month, 20. Let's keep it something pretty good, $2,500 a month. What are you going to be able to do with a pension if you don't have, with a Social Security check that's $2,500 a month, and you don't get any other savings or anything like that? Maybe you have 50, 60, maybe $100,000 saved up. You want to try to live here in the United States off $2,500 a month, or should you go to Costa Rica or Thailand or the Philippines or to someplace else? And all you have to do is show them that you make $800 a month. That's all you got to do is show them, here's how I'm going to make $800 a month. You can go there and live much longer, smarter, more financially available, all that. So a lot of people are choosing to do that. A lot of people are choosing to do that. So what's wrong with that?
They welcome a lot of Americans in. The beautiful thing about being an American is a lot of people want to rent to Americans, not only because of the price gouging that they do, but because we are known for paying our bills on time. That's the big thing. And I remember when I was in Colombia, and guys, when I'm looking for an apartment, I was always have like first dibs. Now I know I might be paying $100 to $200 more than maybe a local, but like I say, Americans are known for doing quote unquote good business overseas and paying their living expenses on time. So it's pretty.
Again, he just mentioned we got a good reputation. We pay our bills on time. Why? Because you got that coin. That coin is coming in end of the month. It was just the end of the month the other day. I looked at my bank account. I get that email from my city, and it's at the end of the month. So I know it's coming. So why not, try to make the most of that? Let's see. Gregory Scotland again. Let's face it. American black men are scared. Many find it easy to criticize black men with agency because they don't want the women to be mad at them. Watch a typical ABM around AB women, scared to offend. Um, and I think the men are getting sick of that. I think the men are getting sick of that, and they want to live their lives, and they want to be living in the shadow of criticism. They don't want to live with that heaviness of criticism, so they're just choosing to move in silence or move away from that. And so that's what's got to be answered. That's what's got to be answered. Go to Nigeria. I was just listening to somebody talk about Nigeria. Oh, I was listening to somebody talk about Nigeria and its lack of development and infrastructure. And what there was a professional boxer who just got his team got killed there, right, or something like that, in a car accident. So I mean, again, you got to move to some place that's going to make sure that they have some amenities. If you're getting up there in age, you got to be mindful of healthcare, no matter what place you go to. So, plantation bros galore, yeah.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're in a pretty good situation if you can figure out a way to make your money, and your money follow you. That American dollar goes a whole lot further overseas than it does back in America.
I'm gonna be reading super chats throughout the show, so I appreciate everybody that's holding us down, that's looking out, that's making sure that they support the channel. I got a question. I got another couple questions for you.
Mhm.
What do you think about the people that go over exploit? Right? They doing it for clout. They not actually able to really be there and afford it. It's been a few different videos recently that went viral where maybe a dude got stuck over there and he wasn't really even financially in a position to really be there, or you know, sex tourism is a big thing. Like if we just want to keep it real, right? Sex tourism is a big thing in a lot of these places. I just learned about Sasua.
I make a big distinction between sex tourism and passport bros. Are there people who try to blend those? Are there people who are going over to places for sex tourism? Absolutely. Are there people who are going to look for, again, food, culture, change of pace, change of life, better weather, and yes, maybe even to find a long-term mate? Yes. And that's what my definition of passport bros would be.
Literally last week.
Mhm.
What do you think about that in a general sense? Do you think that it kind of paints and it stereotypically paints men in a negative light and it gives a bad name to the passport bros, which based off of what you're explaining to me, it's a completely different reason for why you there. Is really just as a matter of, exploring the world. Your dollar goes further. You want to be
Mhm.
more immersed in different cultures and understand things. And then when you see different things, you experience it much longer than people that may be tied down from whatever it is that they got going on back in the States. What do you think about people that, or these different videos that pop up that then tend to give passport bros a bad, or
Right. This is the videos that we were talking about before, people giving people a bad name. You already got this bad name. It's already got it when people want to leave and they think you're already up to nefarious things. And next thing you know, you jump on here saying, "Oh, I got this chick and I was at this party, this, that, and the other." There's such a thing as about moving, moving in silence. And again, if you're going over there for debaucherous reasons, you should be quiet about it. If you're going over there for good reasons, I still think you ought to be quiet about it, unless you're going to make some travel videos and say, "Here's the type of life that I'm living." Again, I follow some couples, sometimes men, single men, sometimes single women, sometimes couples. I follow them all, or at least watch a number of their videos talking about how they make it in other countries. So if you're going to do that type of thing, that's fine. But if you're going over there, if you know this thing's got a bad image, it's got a bad image, then I think that you owe it to the people around you to uplift that image, to change that negative image, and to give it a positive image. And I don't like when people don't go out of the way to make sure it's a positive image.
let me reframe it. Guys that say that they're passport bros but are not operating the same way in which you are.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say that black men are not the face of sexual tourism. All right, that's been going on for hundreds of years, right? And they have specials and news segments of, let's just say, other people participating in that. Now, I'm not going to say that doesn't happen, but for the most part, there's a lot of misconceptions. Most brothers I know are just really just trying to leave states and have a different lifestyle and expand their options. That's for the majority. But as this movement grows, you're going to have guys that want views, that traveling for different reasons, and we can't control that. We can't control who claims to be a passport bro. a lot of these guys that are getting these situations don't even necessarily claim the passport. But passport, bro, is not like we take votes or we, have, thorough membership requirements or anything. It's just the ideology. And
but I understand that others desire to let others know how they did it, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with putting people on game about here's how you get a passport visa. You contact your consulate, you do some research. I think that's actually a very smart thing. My thing is, if you're sitting in markets, putting the cameras on girls' butts as they walk by, saying who's coming up to you, making these girls sit in your lap, and all this kind of that is tasteless, and that is going to drive down the reputation of the particular movement and those who want to do something good and positive. Oh, why is he doing the passport? OG, I sent you an email, brother. Why is Anton doing this? So again, this is 2 years ago. So we're kind of building up the frame here of what this brother was going on in his brother's head. So here we go.
That I preach is basically leveraging your American dollar, having a good lifestyle, rebuilding that brotherhood. I highlight different brothers with businesses overseas. You got brothers opening up restaurants in Colombia. I interview those guys, opening up hotels in Brazil.
Really?
I interviewed a couple of guys out here. Like, yeah, you can form like your own little versions of a little.
So that's what I'm saying. So these brothers are positive, opening up hotels, restaurants, networking like that. Yes, and if your American dollar can go further, why not do that?
Small, community, expat community, and guys are, utilizing the American dollar and starting businesses. Like I said before, I'm not going to say that does not happen.
Yeah.
Because people travel for different reasons, but a lot of the heat that passport bros are getting aren't really from the guys that actually live overseas. They're from guys who just go overseas for a weekend or so. Sasua is very close. And it's just not all Sasua, but guys should travel for different reasons. And
I agree with this, Winterfall. It exploits the woman, though, that culture, putting a camera in their face. Yeah, that's tasteless, and that's tasteless. They should not be doing that. They should not be doing that. I didn't like it when that dude Austin Holloman was doing it. I think somebody should have pulled his coattail about that. This is nonsense. Again, I don't like it when you're in public. This is me. I don't like when you're in public and people just start video recording you. Did you get people's permission to put their faces all over the internet? That is completely crass behavior, and I don't appreciate anyone who does that, particularly to the locals or whatever, right? But if you're there trying to say, here's the consulate, here's the facility that you go to, here's the paperwork you got to fill out in order to get your whatever you got to get to start a business, whatever, that's all great. Do that.
Once again, a lot of people participate in that, of all ethnicities and of all genders, right? And it's just, I hate for that to paint the picture of the whole, passport roads. But that's just not what that's just not the truth. There's a lot of people just throwing dirt because they've been introduced to something, and they don't want men to have options. They want men to be miserable and be the dregs of society. But things are different now.
And that's where I want to leave it off with. On this particular video right here, they want men to be miserable. Stay here, be miserable. Deal with the women that are here. Deal with the food that's here that's all poisoned up. Deal with all this type of stuff, right? And that I have a visceral reaction to. That bothers me than anything else. Is you are a plantation slave has been put into this narrative here. You're a plantation slave. You need to stay here and deal with it, right? All right. So I'm gonna back up out of this, and we're gonna. So that remember that was 2 years ago. You can see that Anton Daniels was smiling there, and he was, just giddy and happy and having a real conversation and trying to figure what was going on. Trying to figure out what was going on, and next thing you know, he just completely flips out on the whole passport bro movement. So we're gonna play a little bit of this here. Let's put this on this. There's 2 videos I think I'm gonna play here. We'll try to get through both of them here. They love supporting Anton Daniels, Gynocrat galore filmed. I filmed myself at the immigration office in Aruba, but I'm a woman though. I don't think there's any problem with doing that. Now, the critique that you as a woman the men would say is if you're filming yourself doing these quote unquote sex tourism tours in Jamaica, getting those boat tours and rub downs and stuff, well, then I would have the same smoke for you. Why are you doing that? You know, if you're able to lead, then go for it. Yeah. We are hated by everyone. Yeah, it's really a shame that we got to talk about this again here. So this is they love supporting paying for boxing in other countries. Anton on how to spot passport bro weirdos. So he's going to do 2 videos about this type of thing here. So here we go.
I was able to learn how to profile effectively. So when I see y'all walking through, and whether it's the streets, the hood, dudes as pedos, people that like little kids, that's why I'm able to spot passport bros that buy pussy so easy. Yeah, let me get on you niggas. Keep putting pressure on you punk ass motherfuckers.
It's very Christian of him to talk like this. I don't know what church he went to, but this is this is not the type of church I came up with. But anyway, here we go. This is very Christian of him, right? Make sure y'all hit the like button. Again, he's a shock jock. Please make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate you, Yoli.
That's why I'm able to see, I can tell the difference between a nigga that's going over there and looking at it culturally and saying, man, I love this country, or man, I want to get a different experience, or man, if I just so happen to find love while at the same time experience different cultural norms and learning to respect other people's culture, then, that's great. But I'm able to spot the degenerates. And I'm disappointed in some of you niggas. Some of you YouTubers, I thought y'all were the cool ones. I thought that you guys were a good representation of especially black people and white people. I know y'all some degenerates too, so y'all be over there buying pussy. Y'all buy pussy more than black people. But
I gotta break this up here because it's my ears. I had a wannabe passport bro get mad at me because he stated he wanted to visit DR and have better luck with women. I said, out of 52 weeks a year, you only have luck with women 2 weeks. What you gonna do in your other 50? Yeah, what were you saying about this? He's right next to Jesus, right? Yeah, you said something about somebody said something about this before, right? He spent a lot of time on Cohen panel. Somebody said something about about him being next to Jesus. I missed that comment before. Anyway,
get there. For some of you YouTubers, I thought y'all was the cool ones, and that's why I supported y'all in the beginning. Y'all reached out to me. Yeah, Anton, can you come on my platform? Yeah, not come on your platform. You from, this place that I love or whatever, so on and so forth. And so I thought you niggas was the cool ones. But y'all not what I thought y'all was, because y'all support degenerate behavior. You know what I'm saying? You niggas start defending these degenerate bitch ass niggas and think that, and so now I gotta look at you funny because y'all looking funny in the light. Now I gotta look at you funny in the light because when I call out degenerate behavior of the group of people that support you, and make no mistake about it, most of the niggas that watch our live streams, they jerk off in their socks. Y'all not building.
How does he know that? Anton, how do you know that? How does he know that? Does he cover the Epstein files and save energy? No, he's not gonna do that. He was on Fox News. He ain't gonna do that. How does he know that?
Group in a community of people that are strong in their core beliefs and respect other people's culture, and it just in case they go and find love in another country because they just so happen to be organically enjoying and adapting to what's going on there. No. That's not what's happening. I see.
What do you see, Anton? What do you see? What do you see? I'm interested to know what you see.
That's why we watched that other nigga get arrested the other day. I see y'all upholding, and instead of rooting out, y'all know different than bad cops. You're no different. You degenerate bitch ass passport bros, you're no different than the cops that we like to call out. You know how we say it's a blue wall and the good cops get lumped in with the bad cops because the good cops don't call out the behavior of the bad cops? You're the same way. You're the same way. When you don't address the people that are embarrassing y'all, and then you wonder why people label you negatively because you become sex tourists, and then they say, well, don't dick police me. Nigga, don't nobody want to dick police your little penis. I got a big dick.
So you know he doesn't because he said that. So obviously, I try to keep the stream semi-clear here, but we're doing this live. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. He just flipped the script from the previous video. What made this dude do this? Is it because he found out guys were masturbating in their socks? I don't know what these dude found out. Why? I don't know why he came at these dudes so hard like this. I think that all in public all has said that this dude has some we all have smoke for degenerate behavior. I think we all could have said that, but this dude is just going completely off. This will show you, right? This will show you, right? Is it being a grifter, as was stated before?
Thick, round, girth.
This guy's
I'm
talking
not
about
tripping over you lit niggas little.
this guy's talking about his gym time here. I dislike content creators' language is filthy. Yeah, so do I. Cover your ears. Remove the kids.
Penises? What would I give a fuck? Why would I care about what you niggas are?
I dislike content. What was you saying here? Oh, you put something up here. I think I hit it, unfortunately. You put something else on here, Yoli. I think I accidentally hit it. It's pretty funny. Oh, there's something about his glasses. Whoever wrote the glasses comment. Oh, no, here it is. Them glasses are pretty big. You're probably seeing a lot.
I'm trying to root out the degenerate behavior. And so we have to address this accordingly. No, don't clip that part out. Keep that part in. Keep that part in. Don't take that part out. Niggas is over there getting the little kids. You're chasing little kids. You think you can get away with it because you're in a different country. Call out, yes, Garth Brooks.
Listen, I got a problem with anybody going over there doing. I got a problem, as I mentioned, you going over there exploiting the women and putting their faces all over the internet, because some of them are in desperate situations and they're trying to get with you. Then why would you put their face all over the internet? I can call that out. I can call out if you're going over there trying to sleep with, or do what you're going to do with little kids. I think that is degenerate behavior. But this completely different crash out here is just he's got a whole entire smoke for the whole movement. It seems as if.
All out the degenerate behavior. Stop being dummies. When you support this dumb shit and you don't separate yourself from it and say, you know what? Well, Anton is right about that. But instead, you're trying to keep the little audience that you got. Do you know why you can't grow? Do you realize why you can't grow? Is because they know that you are a pander bear to sexual deviance. Nobody is going to support a channel that is pandering to sexual deviance.
I don't know who is who's being the pander bear to sexual deviance here. And to your point there, Passport OG, every other word is the N-word, right? So this is a guy, again, who's supposed to be a Christian, who's supposed to, be trying to uplift the community, and this is the word that comes out of your mouth, every other word? Absolutely crazy. What's up, Miss Independent? Does he care about the kids called a redacted? You don't care about that. You don't care about that.
So if the majority of your audience are bullshitters and sexual deviants, nobody is going to continue to allow for you to grow. It don't matter how much you stream, don't matter who you get on your platform. You're going to be at a cap because you're not authentically being the thing that you're supposed to be. And people are smart. They can see through it. It's just like the
Miss Independent, I know you just got here. The passport people are just guys that don't have ambition and want a place that amount to the money is needed is less to support someone so they can count to be low effort. We just went through all that. I just played a video explaining that that's not what it is. And the passport bros actually have money. They got money to travel. It costs thousands of dollars to travel. Thousands of dollars to travel, to stay in hotels, or if you're going to live with the locals or whatever, or to get these visas and extended stays and et cetera, et cetera. And they go over there and start businesses. I played a whole video before you got here. So please just go over there and watch that. But these people have money. And I think that one of the reasons that, again, this is the negative connotation, this is the negative influence, this is the negative speech that goes on surrounding them. So people think that they're lazy, they don't have to put an effort, they just go in there and escape problems. Whoa, what was me? What was them? And so this is the negative thing that goes on about them. When the truth of the matter is that these people are entrepreneurs. They have businesses here. They have real estate here, and they're just doing whatever they need to do here, or they have retirements, and they're going over places to get culture, to travel, and to enjoy different lifestyle, etc., warmer weather, etc. And yes, sometimes they're going over there to enjoy the company of ladies. In particular, many of them are going over there to enjoy the company of ladies for extended time. They want girlfriends and or wives, and they can't find that here. I laid all that out, so I'm not going to do that again.
Women, right? A lot of people say, oh man, you know, Anton be getting on the women. Why do you think so many women still love me and support me, even though I hold them accountable? You know why?
And this is the point. This is the point. All the ones I know live with their mom and work at a warehouse, but okay. So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. They're living frugal where they are, so they can have money to go overseas. So they can have money to travel for 3, 4, 5 months at a time. But whatever.
Because they can see the truth and that I hold them accountable because I love them, because I want them to do better. So of course you're going to see some big backs that get mad and say, oh my God, you know, he hates women. But women authentically know, and they can see, you know what? Yeah, he is right. Yeah, I shouldn't be out here busting it down for a real one and having 7 different fathers for 10 different children. Yeah, okay, cool. So eventually, even though you're going to get shocked and you're going to get bothered, what I say initially, because you think you're part of a degenerate crew, the women is going to come over and they're going to say, Anton, we love you. Thank you for loving us. And so it's going to even out.
This is very clear. It seems clear. Thank you for this comment there, Nikki J 9999. It seems clear that he is directing this to a particular person who is representing themselves as a legit passport bro. See definitions before, but is condoning inappropriate behaviors. And yeah, there's something going on here that he just completely flipped out.
It's going to even out because authenticity often at times shine through. But when you continue to support this degenerate behavior for little pennies on the dollar, that's the reason why you're not growing as a platform. That's the reason why you're not growing as a platform. Deviant behavior. How do we get here?
The reason I'm not going as a platform because of deviant behavior. Okay, Anton. Thank you again, Greg Lee Scotland. Yeah, some other people hit the super chats too, and Venmo's, Cash Apps. I do appreciate it though. As a viewer, I don't see content creator value as based on their subscriber count. What value do they offer black male agency? Yes. And we all, this video is him responding to a passport person who was arrested for child crimes in Brazil. No, nobody has any respect for that. But that one person or 2 people or 10 people that people can pick up, those who might have caught STDs, or those might be doing whatever they're doing sexually, or those who are going over there scamming people, whatever they're doing, nobody has any love for them. So, but that should not negate the entirety of the movement.
How do we get here? How do we get here? Y'all niggas over there organizing trips like the sister code. These niggas, who takes group trips with niggas that they don't even know? Y'all organizing, y'all linking up on the internet like bitches, like women.
Like bees. This is what he tells you he thinks about women, like bees. Wow.
Y'all organize, dude, these niggas is doing group trips. They doing girl trips. They're doing girl trips. I've never seen a bunch of guys that don't know each other connect with each other over the internet and with secret identities and profiles on Reddit and doing girl trips together. You niggas is doing girl trips together. If that ain't the weirdest shit that I've never seen in my life, y'all are bonding with each other. And then you see them all on where my passport at? I seen a picture of niggas doing like this. It was a bunch of weirdo niggas that was doing like this. Passport gang. Yeah, passport gang. Anton.
So here's why I think that people are doing that. And this goes where we're talking about this before here. For the first time, you got to understand, black men and black people in America, really for the first time within our cultural remembrance of being in the United States, I should say, as we are the freest we've ever been. You realize back in the Great Migration in World War I, when people were trying to leave the South, even though they were fighting a war, World War I, the black folks said, "Hey, this is the perfect time for us to leave," right? Because the white folks here are are preoccupied with this war that's going on overseas. So we this is perfect time for us to leave. They set up catchers. Somebody said slave catchers in the chat. They set up catchers at bus and train stations to make sure the black folks weren't getting on buses and trains. They set up troopers at highways to make sure that they couldn't leave the southern states in order to flee to the north where there were better factory jobs. They want to keep them on the plantation. They literally want to keep them on the plantation. People often make jokes about, we don't want you to leave the plantation and during slavery. They didn't want them to leave even during World War I. And so, so black folks, in particular black men, are the freest we've ever been. And so when they put up when they hold up their passports, etc., what they're saying is for the first time in our cultural time, we're able to be free and we're able to leave and to be able to be full citizens of planet Earth, not just of America, but planet Earth. We can take this piece of paper from, or this booklet from the United States and go anywhere and receive the same treatment that quote unquote white men were able to do for centuries or for decades. Let's put it that way. So that's kind of what I see when people are doing that. I'm giving trying to give a basic understanding of what I think is going on when they do things like that. Now, again, this goes to the flashing and flossing that I talked about before that people shouldn't be doing. And again, if you're the first time you got some money, and how do most people who never had money show that they had money? That buy big rocks on their fingers and iced out this and iced out necklaces and chains and this and that, because they never had it before. They grew up in poverty. So this is how they want to show that they have money. Same thing with the passport. This is the first time we are now agents. We now have free agency. We now have our mail agency at the first time in human history, or at least in American history, where we have this ability to move. We've made some money, and now we don't want to be stuck. That's what I think that they're doing when they're behaving in these ways. Do I think it's smart? No, I don't think it's smart. I don't think they should be doing that.
But she can go and do passport life. Why would I want to go and do passport life with a bunch of losers, weirdos, circle jerk partners? Why would I want to hang out with circle jerk partners? I want to hang out with people that is overseas doing the right thing, because right is right and wrong is wrong, regardless of whether you're here in the United States of America or you go over into another country. Your moral compass carries with you. You don't need to go and figure out what their laws are to see which ones you can teeter on and break, regardless of what country you go to. If you're a good stand-up person, you're generally a good stand-up person no matter where you go. When I go to another country, I never have to go and look up what their laws are in order to go and do something that I'm not supposed to do. You know what I do? I just be regular.
I don't do that either. Whenever I go into another country, I don't sit there and try to figure out, I can't do this, I can't do that. I just walk around. So I some of this I can see his point to. Some of this I can see his point to.
I respect them, and I look at their customs to see how it is that I can adapt more effectively so that I can show even more respect. Or, hey, do you supposed to tip in this place, or you're not? How do you move, right? I don't have to look up the laws of another country in order to not go to jail.
And that's one thing. Don't go over these countries tipping. You Americans out there, you Americans go over to these other countries tipping. Don't do that. That's an American thing. And now it's everywhere because of you Americans going over there, taking this nonsense over there. It's not their custom. And now they expect it, particularly if you stay in a resort or something like that. That's why sometimes you can't stay in them resorts because they expect it. Tipping. Oh, he's definitely embarrassing.
You know what I'm saying?
He don't care.
I don't have to do that. You know why I don't have to do that? Because I'm a stand-up guy. Sex tourists. That's what they are. That's what I call them. Sex tourists. I didn't even know that black men had to do that shit. I thought that we was the kings of the earth. I thought that we was great. I did not know until I started seeing these degenerate ass motherfuckers on the internet. I did not know that black men had to pay for pussy. I always was raised to think, and now I know differently. I thought that was a white man, a Chinese man, and an Indian man game, and Arabic men. I thought that they were the ones that, especially white men. I was raised to believe, and maybe I was wrong, blame the people that raised me. I was raised to believe that white men pay for pussy. I did not know. This is a new thing for me. Being in Detroit, being raised in the inner city, I did not know that black men pay for pussy. That is new. That is new. Now, provide, protect, that's different. But exchanging money for pussy, and I know it's popular for you niggas to do. I know that y'all like to do all of this tricking and tricking. Ain't tricking if you got it. You let the hoes trick you into tricking. I did not know that men paid for pussy until I got older. I didn't know black men did it until I got older. I did not know it, bro.
Clearly, this brother didn't know a lot.
See? Always trying to justify. Some people will say you're paying the most. I did not know it. Look, a nigga with a cat as his profile picture is sitting there talking to me, lecturing. This nigga chose a cat with a tuxedo as his profile.
How does he know he's a dude? How does he know he's a dude? I assume when he's saying the N-word, he suspects that he's a black dude. Does he know if he's Asian or Hispanic or even a male?
Picture. And he's having a conversation with me about what the cost is for box. Crazy P says, huh, Anton? 80 is 80 trolling. Niggas been paying for Big Cat. What are you talking about? It's the oldest professional. I did not know. I was not aware. I thought that was a white man thing. Growing up, I did not know that black men had to pay for pussy.
He's a clown. I mean, this is clown talk right here. How do you not know this? This is clown talk. He's obviously not being serious here. There's no way he can. Right, he's from Detroit. You don't know this. I mean, you never drove down the street and down to these bad neighborhoods. You never heard about the crack era epidemic and all that. He's got to be in his 40s, right? Anton's got to be in his 40s. Never heard about the crack epidemic. What was going on with that? He's just crazy.
I didn't know that. I thought that black guys can go anywhere and be adored. Right? I thought that black guys was.
Where's a lot at? Where are you getting this information at? I'd love to hear that. I'd love to read that, October. A lot of Filipino women have been popping up with half black babies and no husbands. I thought black American men were looking for wives.
Was the kings of conversation. That women adored us. That white women couldn't wait to get with black guys. I didn't know that they had to go and pay for the pussy. Honestly. I didn't know that. I thought that we was just able to go anywhere and make our presence felt. That you go where you gonna go, and if they fucking with you, they fucking with you. If they don't, that you don't. I thought that you just said whatever.
There was a book I was reading one time or something like that. It talked about, in particular, Detroit, saying that because they had cracked down on the pimps, cracked down on the pimps and whatnot, that a lot of them had to turn to become pastors so they could keep up their hustle because they didn't have anything else. It was a book I read one time. So yeah. So the capital of pimping.
Whatever you said, and you was cool with rejection, and we was cool with not doing it. This is new for me.
All right, so that's that video. You got another one here. Let's see here. Let's go back to my history here. Got another video. He's not done with his rant yet. This must come up later in the rant. I'll find this here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Appreciate y'all stopping in. All right, here we go. This is the next one here.
Somebody got to give you some real insight and information about who you are. You's a hoe, and the real dude ain't in you. Keep on experimenting, going from city to city, sleeping with God knows what. You think that you can find some semblance of normalcy out?
It's not a lie, Dr. L. A lot of these black men were servicemen. Okay, so is that currently? Because the U.S. hasn't had a base over there, and when did the base close down there? 80s, 90s? I don't know. They're talking about building another one over there, which is crazy. I don't know, but I'm just asking for how we can know this is true. I mean, so Um, and the servicemen that we were over there would be in their 70s now, right? So, okay. All right. So let's continue on with his rant here.
Side of the country because it's not here in the United States of America. I got to get my passport so I can go and talk to some women. Nigga, you paying for pussy. You's a hoe. That ain't never been player. That ain't never been real. I don't know where the game is switched to where these niggas start talking about going overseas to buy box. What the fuck are we talking about? Where's the OGs at? Where's the OGs at? Where's
That's supposed to be you, Anton. Aren't you the OG?
the real ones that said, listen, I know, look, we might be a little bit off right now. You might be going through something. Maybe you went to the coffee shop one too many times. You're a little bit liberal. Cool. We all go through that shit. We all.
I'm referring to Anton's performance. He's overacting like what he's saying is some crisis. Exactly. And how nobody even knows how big this phenomenon is. How big is this phenomenon? How many men are actually traveling like this? Black men in particular. 5,000, 10,000? Is this millions of men? But what it is doing is that it is draining those men who are successful. This is the point I want to harp on. These are successful men. Either they have pensions, they are entrepreneurs, they are business owners, right? Or even if they are a factory worker and they do live home with their mother, rather than be out in the dating market, they would rather save up their coin and then travel overseas for 3, 4, 5 months at a time. And that is another man that the women can't marry or partner up with, or at least take them on the dates. And that, I think, is the real crisis. That would be whatever the crisis would be. That is worth talking about, because they're not partnering up. They're not choosing to mate here, not spending money here in the U.S., feeding the American economy, etc. That's what I think the hubbub is all about.
Went through it to where, you know what? I don't know who the fuck I am. You know, do I want to be a tech worker? Do I want to go and work at a coffee shop and look, you know, put on a quarter zip or some shit like that? Cool, I'm with it. Your phase is supposed to be some dumb shit. Yep, you start wearing penny loafers, you like Carlton, all of a sudden morning you like Will Smith. I'm with it. You're going through a phase. You might have slept with a snow bunny or here or two. Yep, you discovered some trees. You got a little high a little bit.
Going through a phase of sleeping with snow bunnies? Who knows? Okay. Okay. Wow.
You niggas is off some other shit. Y'all on perks. Y'all fucking around with men. Y'all doing all of this dumb shit. Like, where did the masculinity go? Everybody goes through phases, but you're not supposed to get so far away from your core beliefs. But the problem is that you never had any core beliefs. That's why the word of God, see, I'm gonna bring it back for you. The word of God, you'll never depart with it. Put them in them young and they'll never depart from it. They got to come back to the thing that they was taught. They got to come back to whatever their destiny is that they was put in them. They got to come back to whatever it is that God had for them. They never gonna get so far if you put it into them young, but you so busy trying to make them so cute.
Right, D-Name. They don't want Generation Z to get this information and get motivated. That's important. This is the Scott Galloways. This is the Antons. And he's going to say this. I think this is the video. He's like, y'all got to come back home. This is where he gets this. He's going to talk about this. Y'all got to come back home. You can't have these people out there.
Dress them up and make them, he's a little doll, and he's going to be somebody else's doll. That's why you put it in them young, because we're going to go through shit. We gonna get our heart broke. We gonna have a hoe or two over here. We gonna like a white chick here or there. But you always supposed to come back home, nigga. Come home. You out there with them folks, bro. You done moved out to a place, into a land that don't even know you, and you don't know why you can't discover where you supposed to be. You running from your destiny. Ain't shit out there for you. You wasn't born out there. That ain't your core. You think you're gonna discover something new? You not. You know what you're gonna discover? A bunch of other people that's trying to figure out who they are, and y'all all leading each other right into hell.
So before, remember, he was having an open conversation. Wow, these guys are going over there and they're setting up businesses and becoming entrepreneurs and this and that, and want to go over and explore the culture. Now he's full on. You're not supposed to be over there, and now you're just you're over there being a hoe, and the hoe as an attack on their masculinity type of sense, and all this other nonsense. And listen, I can appreciate. I try to call it both ways. I can appreciate anyways talking about the cultural differences that you will have to challenge. You got to become legit in the language. You got to become legit in the cultural norms that they got going on. You definitely have to, if you're going to do that, you definitely have to immerse yourself in the culture. You definitely have to immerse yourself in the culture, particularly if you're going to get a woman from there and live there and raise children there and become a real, true, genuine passport bro and really take your passport and create a different life. You definitely got to do that. But this whole, you're not supposed to be there and all this, man, he's going too far with that. He's going too far with that. Let's go a little bit. Let's rewind this rant here. Welcome, Dr. Anwar. Let's go back here in this rant here, just a couple of seconds.
You can't discover where you're supposed to be. You running from your destiny. Ain't shit out there for you. You wasn't born out there. That ain't your core. You think you're gonna discover something new? You're not. You know what you're gonna discover? A bunch of other people that's trying to figure out who they are, and y'all all leading each other right into hell. That's why I visit. I'm a visit. I'm a discover. I'm gonna take what I can from wherever it is that I go. I'm gonna switch up the weather. But guess where I'm coming? I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming. I ain't gotta move.
So because you don't have to move, nobody else has to move. I don't understand the logic behind that. Because I don't have to move, nobody else has to move. Some people may not be as successful, and they might find success in another place. Maybe their place of purpose is in another place. Why would you hold them back from that? And again, we talked about the plantation bros from slavery. We talked about what they did to Black American men when they didn't let them on the trains and buses to leave during the World War I. And even other times, right? They didn't want them to leave. They wanted them to stay right there in the plantation, even though there's no other breathing room, no other lines of work, I can't go to school, I can't go to college, right? They segregate this, segregate that, but you want me to stay here in this environment. They want a Black man to stay here in that environment. And here's this man doing the same exact thing. Stay here in this environment. We got President Trump doing what he's doing, talking about invading Venezuela, bombing these different places. Black men are being laid off from other jobs. Black unemployment is rising under this current administration. Maybe they just don't like the landscape. Maybe they don't like the weather where they are. And you're going to try to tell these brothers they need to stay here? Or sisters? Nobody has smoke for any sisters who's traveling. Weird.
I ain't got to move. The world move around me. I don't have to go and figure out what life is. I'm going to go and discover what it is that I can take from you, and I'm going to bring it back home. You know why? Because my purpose is my purpose, and I don't switch up under any circumstances. Yep, we fuck up. Yep, we mess up. Yep, we dibble and dabble a little bit, but you got to come home, nigga. Come home.
Come home, N-word. Come home, N-word. Words mean something. When you riff off the cuff like this, it means something. Come home, N-word. The economy needs you here. The women need you here, right? Something else going. But meanwhile, what do you get for being here? And as a Black man, you got to ask yourself that. As a Black man, you got to ask yourself that. As a Black man, ask yourself that. And listen, if you have a good life, Anton probably has a good life. If you don't have a good life, or you don't like the way things are going, there's nothing wrong with you changing your environment. Do what's best for you. I took some critiques about one of the recent videos. I talked about I'm not holding men accountable. I numerous videos telling men to level up. I don't understand why that would be in my comment section, but nevertheless, it's there. Men got to do what's best for them, educationally, the fitness level, the mental stability, and if all that means that you have to change your physical location to get out of the U.S., even if it's 3, 4, 5 months out of the year, even if it's for 2 weeks, that's why vacations are important. You got to do what you got to do in order to keep your own sanity, and don't let anybody convince you that it's not. And don't let anybody. And again, we talk about a lot of times. We talk about in this particular space. We talk about women challenging the notion of what it means to be a masculine man. And here Anton is doing the same thing that ladies do, calling you a B and calling you weak, telling you to stay home, N-word, and all this type of stuff. That's challenging your masculinity, making you doubt yourself. Nothing wrong with somebody presenting you with different options and saying, think about what the decisions you're making. Nothing wrong with any of that. But when they start challenging your manhood, telling you you're weak and only women move like that, that's what he said. Women move like this. He is adopting the same type of tactics that ladies would do when they want to challenge men. A real man would be able to stick it out. A real man would be able to do this. A real man would pay for that. A real man would work himself to the bone. A real man would work, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. A real man would do that. He's doing the same exact thing.
Home. Stop being a dummy. Whatever it is that you got going on in your life. See, I didn't know we was going here, but we're going to go there. Whatever it is, because you know, and I don't have to say it to you. You know what the fuck you doing. You know where you fucked up. You know that your kids need you, nigga, and you know where to be found. Your kids are young and growing, and you letting a funky bitch that you should have never been with in the first place raise your children into being suckers, and you gonna regret it. That's your kid. They look like you, they talk like you, but they walk a little more sassy, and you're doing them the disservice. You out here running around doing dumb shit, listening to these punk ass motherfuckers. Man, listen, let me tell you something, bro. I've never in my life. Can we just keep it 100? Chat, can we keep it 100 before we?
I bet he buys a lot of goods that were made from overseas.
Get back to the show. Can we keep it 1,000? Can we keep it 100?
Did he give this? That's a good point, Passport OG. Did he give the same immigrants the same lecture? Did he go off on the Somalis about that? Him and Trump, did they go off on the Somalis like that? Y'all talking about beards? What is this? Maybe that's why Dr. was keeping his gray. I thought about dyeing mine, but I just think I would look kind of foolish now. And you got to keep it up. I probably may do it one day, just dye it. Just keep it all, just take a bunch of pictures and just let it go back. Because that whole dyeing it all the time is just not going to work for me.
100%. Because I don't give a fuck about what these niggas think anyway. Can we keep it 100%? I've never in my life, not once, I've never in my entire life of being on the internet and observing countless videos that y'all have sent me, I have never seen a passport bro that I was like, that nigga is sweet as fuck. I want to be like him.
He interviewed one. Well, I don't know if he would say he wanted to be like him, but at least he had an open conversation and listened to what that man had to say. That was the first video I played. That's why I played it. Where did switch up come from?
Never, not one time, seen a nigga that go overseas to get pussy and was like, yeah, that nigga is the prototype. He cool. I have never in my life, not once, not one, you cannot name me one nigga that is just great. And I was like, I could take something from him. I have never in my life, not once, ever seen a nigga that had to go overseas to buy box and said, he is him. Not once. Who the fuck is y'all following? Who are y'all taking?
No, I think the question is who are you listening to? Who are you following? That's what I want to know. Who? Because these people don't pop up on my feed. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know if somebody sent him this, these rants. I don't know who are you talking to? Who are you listening? And why would you pay attention to a goofy dude, right? So he brought up the idea of the bad police officers and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's fun to it's well, I want to say it's fun, but it's something to cover that because I talk about that on my other channel, right? So I talk about bad police officers and stuff, but I don't hang around these dudes. They're not infecting my brain. I was a police officer. I don't hang around people who are doing bad stuff, right? You call it out. But this is living rent free in this guy's head. You see one or two videos. I don't know how many he saw. You see a couple of videos about people doing stupid stuff, and people are going to do stupid stuff. They do it no matter what industry you work in, whether you work in the nursing industry, if you're a teacher, you probably know somebody who got arrested for or fired for sleeping with their students. We all know the craziness goes on in all places. Lord knows if you're in politics, there's all kind of corruption going on there. We all know that this is going on. Why is he snapping like this? And telling all of these dudes, you got to come home. And that's the point. If he was just snapping about all these dudes, okay, yeah, call these dudes out for their degenerate behavior. Cool. Let's call them out. But then you're gonna tell all brothers to stay home? None of y'all can leave the plantation? Come on, brother.
Advice from? Who are y'all following and who are y'all taking advice from? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Because anytime that I take advice from somebody, I have to be able to see the results first, right? If I'm looking for financial advice, I'm looking to a nigga that got results when it comes to his finances. If I'm looking for advice when it comes to relationships and marriage,
I want to know, even if the person is no longer in that they were able to sustain it for a long enough time, that I could take that advice and say, you know what the fuck you're talking about, right? Anytime that I'm looking for insight and information, if I'm gonna go and take a cooking lesson, I'm not gonna take it from somebody that don't know how to cook. I'm gonna take it from somebody that clearly is an expert in their field, and that is what I'm going to look for. So here's my question, right? Because I'm trying to understand, even if it's an imbalance, even if it's a 60-40, 70-30, 30% is a pretty big number. 40% is a pretty big number. If it's 199.
Hold on, I gotta rewind. I was reading the chats here. Maybe he wants to hit the DR himself, but can't. Well, he's got a wife. He can't do a lot of stuff. Can't do. Maybe there is a little bit. Somebody else said that too. I know jealousy when I hear it. Yeah, maybe he's got something going on here. Maybe this is something going on here. He wants to travel a little bit himself and can't. Maybe he wants to do the degeneracy and he can't. And again, this is not Dr. L supporting degeneracy. I'm talking about legitimate passport bros. That's what I'm talking about.
Anytime that I'm looking for insight and information, if I'm gonna go and take a cooking lesson, I'm not gonna take it from somebody that don't know how to cook. I'm gonna take it from somebody that clearly is an expert in their field, and that is what I'm going to look for. So here's my question, right? Because I'm trying to understand, even if it's an imbalance, even if it's a 60-40, 70-30, 30% is a pretty big number. 40% is a pretty big number. If it's 199, 298, 397, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Why am I listening to niggas that I would never follow in real life?
I don't know what you're talking about. What is he getting these numbers and percentages from? What is he talking about here?
30% is a pretty big number. But I'm gonna take it from somebody that clearly is an expert in their field, and that is what I'm going to look for. So here's my question, right? Because I'm trying to understand, even if it's an imbalance, even if it's a 60-40, 70-30, 30% is a pretty big number. 40% is a pretty big number. If it's 199, 298, 397, I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why am I listening to niggas that I would never follow in real life? I would never listen to niggas in real life, ever, 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 in no capacity. Not with finances, not with resources, not with being successfully married. In no capacity would I listen to these niggas in real life. In no capacity. I see these niggas in real life sometimes because I'm outside, so I really do be out here. And I see y'all. I meet y'all in real life. I had meetups. I kick it with y'all in real life. I look at these niggas and I be like, why would I follow this nigga? This nigga's awkward. He's awkward. He's weird. He's weird in real life. Weird in real life. If I wouldn't follow you in real life, why would I listen to you on the internet? You can get mad if you want to. I'm cool with that. Listen. If you're mad right now, because if somebody was to say all black people is broke, I would never get mad. You know why? Because I'm not broke. So if the shoe fit, wear it. So if this doesn't apply to you, because let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to give you the blueprint and then we're going to get back to the show. If it never applied to you, then it's not anything that I need to defend myself against. But the people that it applies to, nigga, they gonna be so butthurt. They gonna be so butthurt. It's people that's butthurt right now. That's cool. That means that we need to do the work. We need to do the work. You could never offend me with something that's not applicable to my life. You could never offend me with something that's not applicable to my life. Ever, in any capacity. We'll find out who it is. We will find out. Somebody said, who are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know these niggas' names. Promise to God.
Yes, you do, man. No, come on, man. Come on, man. You just told us that you be in the rooms with these dudes, having meetups and stuff. You obviously were watching some videos or some kind of information. Don't front now, man. Keep that same energy, brother.
Nobody in mind. Zero particular people in mind. I've just seen it.
That's all cap.
You see it. It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural issue. I have nobody in mind at all. Zero. Don't mean it's any less true. I see it overall. I see it in general. When I hold women accountable and I say, hey, they need to stop being baby mamas, I'm not referring to anybody in particular. I don't have anybody in mind. I'm speaking to a cultural issue. But you're going to find out the niggas that's feeling some type of way about it. And do I give a fuck? Absolutely not. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Fuck these niggas. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck. They don't put no money in my pocket. They ain't never helped me down.
That's very Christian of him.
I don't need these niggas. I'm here. I'm way up here. Give a fuck about what nobody is saying. I stand on my own too. I'm a solo artist. I'm a solo act. And I got my friends with me. I don't need none of these niggas. Not even a little bit. So even if you are offended, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care even a little bit. Your father should have had this conversation with you and I wouldn't be saying this right now. I don't care about these niggas. So it's not, and I ain't, for what? For what? I'll never mention these niggas' names because it's nothing to shoot at. I'm shooting in the air because I'm way up here, nigga. You see them clouds? You see them clouds right there? Let me show you the clouds, nigga. That's clouds. That's God talking right there. I don't see these niggas. I'm way in the clouds. Everywhere I stay, I'm all the way up here. Even when I'm back in Detroit, I'm at the top floor, penthouse, nigga. Don't talk to me. Talk to your hoe. Talking to these niggas. I'm at the top.
One thing I've always hated people who were tough over the internet. And listen, I can tell you how many people would, well, I'm not going to go into police stories, but people always like to talk tough. You know, they talk tough. They talk tough, you know, so. All right. So that's, I mean, there's another video I could play. Anybody who follows, what's his name there? O'Shea Duke Jackson. He did a pretty good video about this as well. And Passport OG's in the building. He did a video about this as well. So shout out to those brothers. Passport, I did get your email. So we'll set it up, man. We're gonna continue this. We'll call this part 1. We'll do another show about this here. So listen, to the brothers out there, do what's best for you. Get your money up, get your weight up, get your education up, become certified, do whatever, become the best version of yourself. All the things that I've said that people don't think I've been saying to men, what I've been saying for the longest, become the best version of yourself, move accordingly, understand the environment. If you want an American woman, get yourself an American woman, black, white, whatever. If you want, I absolutely love black American women. Do they have challenges? Yes. But do I love them? Yes. But get yourself and do what you're going to be best for you. And if you want to get off the plantation, if you want to take this time to enjoy the freedom that we have had as the first generation of Black Americans to be able to do so in such large mass, then certainly you should do so. And don't let Anton Daniels or anyone else shame you out of this, right? I do not support going over there and dealing with little kids. If you want to go over there and deal with the men, if you're a man, you want to go over there and deal with the men, and I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to police that, and whatever. I do think that one of the biggest issues about the Passport Bros is that there is a certain dearth that is created. There is a vacuum that's created because the men that would take the women out on dates or be there to marry them. And there was a one white guy. I really like the way that he put it. He said the reason that so many women, this is a white guy saying this, the reason that so many women are so angry at the Passport Bros is because their orbiters are gone. He called it the orbiters. Their orbiters are those who take them out for lunch, their work husbands, the people that would hang their pictures and set up TVs and all, come over and fix their laundry machine when it was broken. All that type of stuff. Those type of men are now gone because they're going overseas and seeking peace, greater financial freedoms, etc. And so that's why a lot of times the women are upset and they'll try to use shaming language to keep you here, just like Anton Daniels did. Shaming language, calling you a bee and a hoe, and where's the masculine men at, and calling you lame and corny and you're weird and weirdos and all this other type of stuff. Be yourself, brothers. Love yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your peace of mind and enjoy where you're going to be at. And don't let anyone shame you. If you want to be here in the U.S., stay here in the U.S. You want to travel for a little bit, see what's out there in the world, go ahead and travel and enjoy the world. Don't do anything illegal. Don't, and from my own personal opinion, don't put any women's pictures or anything else on the internet. They didn't ask to be there. They didn't ask to have their faces shown. I think that's classless behavior. But if you want to start a channel about how you go about trying to move to a certain place or your vacation times, certainly go for it. But keep other people's information private and all that. So that would be my recommendation. So a lot of people have messed up the game, and I don't support. And I never like when people were out there just showing all these different women and the bars and the clubs that they were at. thought that was classless behavior. But if you want to move differently, then move differently. If you want to find a new place to live for various reasons, then go for it. All right. Gregory Scotland, thank you so much for the $20 there, for the $10 here. $199 here. He's next to Jesus. Yeah, it's crazy. I appreciate your support there, Greg Scotland. I appreciate that. As a viewer, I don't see content creators' values, subscriber count. What value do you offer a black male agency? And that's one thing I definitely want to offer as black men, to have agency. And for a long time, black people in the U.S. were denied that agency, and we have the greatest amount of freedom now. And women are taking advantage of that by their own travels and by their education's attainment. And black men have every right to enjoy the agency that they choose to enjoy. And as long as you are taking care of your children, Anton Daniels went about this. So let me just talk about this for a second here. Take care of your children. Do not run away from your responsibilities. If you have children here, make sure you raise them here. My children are in their 20s. My son will be 30 this year, right? So I'm well into the stage of life where I can do it. Don't run away from your obligations and responsibilities. Be here, stay here, and do right by your children. Then you want to go away when they're 18 or 20 or whenever they're financially set, whatever. Do what you got to do. But certainly take care of your children. A passport represents a cheat code and escape to a better life on nearly every level. People that want to use black men don't like that. Yeah, again, this is the orbiter phenomenon, right? They want you to stay here, take us out to dinner, be our pit bulls, be our attack dogs, hang our TVs, come over and fix this, fix my plumbing, do this for me. Nah. Enough of that. Golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people right. Praise Yah. My friend's niece went to Thailand to teach ESL and said she's never moving back to the U.S. I'm so happy for it. There's a lot of people doing it. They're figuring out it's better. The environment, the culture, the food, particularly Thailand, the food is awesome. I was eating outside every day. Every day. It was beautiful, right? It's hot though. I don't like it that hot. I don't like it that hot. But hey, listen, people are figuring this thing out. And they got this thing in the U.S. They got this thing in the U.S. A lot of us want to get away from. So, anyway, I thank you guys so much for checking out the show. Let me, just continue to let your thoughts be known. Passport OG, we're going to hook something up. So, yeah, he's big, man. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. I'll see you guys again. I'll try to do another one later on this week. Make sure you guys enjoy your new year. New year, new you. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing forward. If you have any show ideas or any other videos, guys can always send them to me. So I really want you guys to have a great year. And yeah, come on, Passport OG. Passport OG. Come on home, man. Come on home, man. Who let you off the plantation, Passport OG? Oh, man. That's best, Dr. Women aren't mad because they can't find a male for their teeth. They can pay for someone to do that. Yeah, they pay another man. That's the point. That's the point, October. They pay a man to do it. You pay a man to do it. Before you had a friend here that would do it. And I'm not saying this is true of every single situation. I am saying that if you knew someone who was a friend who could fix a car, who could help you with your plumbing, hang a TV, fix your washing machine, all this different type of stuff, and now you got to pay somebody to do it. That's the point. The orbiters are gone. Those with skill, those people. This is the point. People with skills and knowledge, the men who have skills and knowledge and degrees and certifications, these are the ones who are leaving. It's not a mass exodus. It's not a mass exodus. Not like the South during the Great Migration, right, where something like 80% of the total black population in the South moved to the North. No, it's not that, but there is a slowing and a growing of male indifference and checking out and saying we're not going to deal with this anymore. Not just with the ladies, but they're not going to deal with the political climate, the financial climate, and everything else that's going on in the U.S. So they're saying they're gonna leave. And this guy, Anton Daniels, is saying stay home, come home, go over there and have a little fun, but come home because you belong here. Tell that to Passport OG. Tell him to come here. Oh man. My point is no one is crying about it. Okay. I think there is a little bit of crying about it. When these videos, not just Anton's that I just played right here, but there's a lot of ladies who were definitely crying about it. You can go over to TikTok and type in Passport Brothers and see the plethora of women who were dumping all over Passport Bros. You can go over to Medium where I played before and read through various articles about women complaining that these men are broke and dusty and weird and this and that, and they don't have anything, and what a bunch of weirdos, and who cares if they're gone? Well, you wrote the article. Well, obviously somebody cares. Yeah. Y'all think hanging TV warrants some skins? No, I don't think that. Well, some do. I won't say that nobody thinks that, but I do think that. But there is a thing about using a man's presence, and men want something in exchange for his presence and for his labor. Men want something in exchange for the presence and for the labor. So if I'm going to walk you to work and walk you and bring you to the store, just so because it's a dangerous neighborhood, or you're going to drive through somewhere, and all these other things that men provide, that symbol of protection. If you're going to do all that, and you just want to use a guy as an orbiter and never give him any, to use your terminology, skins. And I'm not saying it's a 1-for-1 ratio. I'm just saying that there's something that goes along with the masculine presence. And if you want that masculine presence, then you have to be willing to give something for that as well. And when I had Anita on the show, she said, listen, if somebody does something for me, you got to cook him a meal, do something for him, do something for him. And this is the part that I think a lot of women, not you, October, but I think a lot of women have never understood. You ought to do something for that, for that masculine presence. If he's walking you to the store and that security guard, if you walk out of work and the security guard is walking you to your car every day, if that security guard wasn't there, you had to call up a friend to walk you in your house every day or outside your job, and all the different symbols of protection that the man offers, then that man deserves something. That man deserves something. I'm not saying he deserves something sexually. I'm saying he deserves a free meal. You bring him a cake, bring a couple of cookies. You do something. You help him with his taxes. You do something, right? It's a reciprocal type of relationship. And a lot of ladies don't think that they need to offer anything. You don't need to offer anything. And so the guys are saying, if I can go to someplace else and get reciprocated for my time, my energy, and get a better quality of life, why would I not enjoy that? So those men are no longer available to be used without fair exchange or compensation. That's what I just said. Absolutely. I don't know if the plethora, I don't know. Let's see. Everyone has a role in the community. I do agree. Right. Don't do anything for them. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys again. We'll try to do something maybe at the end of the week, it is the end of the week. It's Thursday today, right? Maybe Saturday or Sunday or so. All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves. Well, they're getting. I always love going back with you, October. No, I'm not. The security guard is paid. My point is that it's usually a man who's doing that type of provision. To your point about a guy who's hanging TVs, right? So you're either going to pay someone to do it, or you're going to have a friend or a family member to do it. And if it's a friend, now the friends are slowly disappearing. Whether the friends are slowly disappearing by becoming passport bros, or they're slowly disappearing because they're saying that it's no longer worth the squeeze, and you do it yourself, and you buy your own firearm and you protect yourself, or they're just generally checking out, that masculine presence of safety and security is not there. That's my point. So either you got to pay your friend to do it, and just patting him on the back and saying thank you is not going to do it anymore. Again, you should cook him a meal, or you should do something that he likes, do his taxes, or you think of that. I mean, this is something you got to figure out what you're going to do to compensate a man. But his time and his energy should not just be assumed and be free. And men are no longer. Actually, I want to do a video reacting to this as well. Another video I watched. His time, his energy, and his attention, and his masculine presence, and his protective presence should not be assumed anymore. And I would say that to my own daughter. You should be doing something to them. And I would tell my daughter that, listen, this guy who's walking you to your car every day, he either wants something, he wants a date, or something like that. And you need to make it clear, if you're not romantically interested in him, that this is not going anywhere, and therefore you should buy him something, or you should cash app him, or you should whatever you need to do in order for him to know that he is not being used. And that is the difference that is going on here. That's the difference. Men are emotionally checking out, and they're saying women are on their own, whether they're moving overseas or whether they're just sitting in their house playing video games, or refusing to say, or treating women as they want to be treated as equals. So nobody's walking me as a man to my car every day. Why I got to walk you to your car every day? Aren't you strong, independent, etc.? So either you got to pay for it, or you got to have a friend to do it. And if you're going to have a friend to do it, I'm still suggesting you pay for it in other terms. You don't have to give him $1 every time you walk to your car, or $5 every time you walk to a car, but you should fill up his gas tank every once in a while or something to let him know that he's not being used. That's my point. That's my point. All right. Good night, everyone. Once again, have a wonderful new year, and may be peaceful and prosperous. Maybe you all get the desires of your heart. I absolutely second that. Absolutely second that. Men not from the United States have ever traveled to this country specifically to find wives. No, they have not. Not unless they are going to be a sugar baby, sugar, son, or whatever they would call a dude, right? If he's going to come over here and be taken care of, they might do that, right? They might do that, right? If they're looking for a green card or whatever. Appreciate that procedure for real. All right, y'all. All right. Yeah, make them a sandwich. Let's see. All right, y'all. Take care. Much love and peace. I think I got through all the comments. Make sure y'all hit the like button in the future if you watch this or now. Take care.